Hey y'all, it's Paris and I'm back with another video. So today I wanted to talk to you guys about, yes, the blessing is still coming. So before I get into my testimony, I want to share with you guys this scripture coming out of Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 3. And it says, "For the vision is yet for the appointed time. It testifies about the end and it will not lie. Though it delays, wait for it, since it will certainly come and not be late." I'm going to read it one more time. "For the vision is yet for the appointed time. It testifies about the end and will not lie. Though it delays, wait for it, since it will certainly come and not be late." So what this scripture is saying, when it says for the vision is whatever God has already given you. The promise that God has already given you. That's the vision. And so it says, for the vision is yet for the appointed time. So whatever that promise that God has given you, whatever that thing, that blessing that you're holding on to, that blessing has an appointed time. That vision has an appointed time. God knows when he's going to give it to you. You may not know, but God has an appointed time for that particular vision. It says, it testifies about the end and will not lie. So this blessing that God has already shown you that's going to happen, the blessing is showing you the vision that God has shown you. It's telling you what's going to be the ending. It's telling you what's going to be the result. You may just see the problem, but God has already showed you the vision. So he's showing you the ending. He's showing you the product. So you may be going through something right now, but it doesn't matter, because if God has already shown you the vision, he's showing you that the blessing is still coming, right? And it says it will not lie. So when a blessing happens, you will see that God doesn't lie. He can't lie. You will see the confirmation. You will see that God was with you the whole time. And so it says, though it delays, wait for it. So though you know that you're waiting on this blessing, you're waiting on the vision that God is giving you, it says wait for it. Though it's taking a long time, wait for it, since it will certainly come and not be late. So God is saying, yes, the blessing is going to come. It has to come. My word doesn't lie. It has to come. And it says it will not be late. So isn't it funny? The scripture says, though it delays, and then at the end it says it will not be late. Though it delays, but God is still saying it will not be late. So though your bills may be overdue, past due, God is saying it will not be late. It will not be late. Yes, your timing is late. You may be thinking, oh God, you should have been over here. You should have been helped me. But God is saying, no, it will not be late. It will certainly happen, okay? This is giving you assurance. It's going to happen, but it's not going to be late. It may delay, but it's not going to be late. So now that I've read that scripture, I wanted to give you an encouraging testimony. So God reminded me of the process that I went through last year. Before I got this house, I went through a lot. A lot of you guys don't know the situation because I don't think I went into detail, but God reminded me of my situation. He wanted me to share it with you guys because I feel like it's going to encourage you guys on, what you're waiting for. So before I bought this home, I had my own apartment. I never thought about, buying a home. I always told myself that I would buy a home, once I got married. Like I always felt like that made sense. Like, why buy a home and I'm single? So God had other plans. So back in April of last year, God started telling me, I want you to buy a house. So I'm like, God, is this you? And he confirms to me, and he's like, I want you to buy a house. So I'm like, okay. So I started looking for realtors and I find a realtor. Okay. Keep in mind, my lease is up in July. So I have about 3 months to find a house. But God is not telling me, he never told me when I was going to get a house. He never told me how. He just said, buy a house. So I was like, okay, maybe I'm going to, like, I'm just assuming, like, maybe I'm going to get this house, as soon as my lease is up. So I found a realtor and we're looking for houses and I'm seeing nice houses. And I'm even, giving earnest money because I'm thinking this is the house, and it was not the house. So, I come across all these houses and it's still not the one, right? And so May comes, June comes, and I still haven't found a house. And I'm like, God, what are you doing? Like, my lease is finna be up. You're going to have me homeless out here. Like, I need you to do something. And so I'm still looking for houses and no house. So July 15th comes. So that's when my lease was up. July 15th comes and I had no other option but to move in with my mom. So I told my mom, like, hey, I believe God is telling me to buy a house and I just need to stay here temporarily, until I get this house. So I'm telling her this, but my mom is not, making sense of all this, because she's like, God told you to buy a house. Why would God tell you to buy a house? Like, you don't need a house. That's what she's thinking. You don't need a house. And I was also thinking that too. Like, I don't need a house. Like, I would rather keep renting, but God had other plans. He wanted me to buy a house. So, my mom is also not the type to just let me stay. Like, she's the mom that you're not going to stay here for free. So we had to make an arrangement, and basically I had paid her, to stay there. And so, I'm still looking for houses, although I'm staying there. I'm still going to work, and I'm coming across these houses, but they're still not the one. And I'm starting to get discouraged. Not only that, I'm feeling like a burden because I'm living with my mom. My mom has a 1-bedroom apartment. Guess where I was sleeping? I was sleeping on the couch. Paris, your girl, was sleeping on the couch in her 1-bedroom apartment. If that wasn't the most humbling waiting season, before the blessing, like, I was definitely humbled because I didn't even have my own room. I slept in the living room on the couch. Okay? So I slept in the living room on the couch, and I'm feeling like a burden, and I'm like, God, I just had my own apartment. You now have me at my mom's house. I don't even have my own bed. I'm sleeping on the couch. You could have let me just kept renting if that was the case. So now I'm starting to get mad at God, because I'm like, God, you told me that you wanted me to buy a house, but you never told me, the in-between. You never told me I was going to be staying with my mom. You never told me I was going to be sleeping on the couch. So now I'm crying myself to sleep. Every time I went to sleep, I cried myself to sleep because I just felt like it was unfair. And I was like, why is God allowing me to go through this? He said that I was going to buy a house, but he never told me I was going to be in this situation. And so I didn't realize that God was humbling me. I didn't realize that God was showing me that, Paris, before I give you this house, I need you to be humble, because when you get this house, I don't need you to be puffed up. I don't need you to have a big ego. I don't need you to think that you're better than anybody because you got this house. I need you to be humble. So I didn't know that. I know it now, but I didn't know that then. So anyways, I'm crying myself to sleep. I'm sleeping on my mom's couch and I'm still going to work. And I'm like, God, why? Why do you have me in this situation? So it comes a time where my mom sits me down and she starts telling me that, her bills are going up. Ever since I moved in with her, her bills were going up. She was saying, her light bill is more and all this other stuff. And so she starts asking me for more money. Keep in mind, I was already paying her, but now she wants more money. And I'm like, Mom, this doesn't make sense, because you know that I'm trying to, buy a house. Like, I get it. Things are, the bills are going up for you because I'm here, and I apologize for that. But I told her, I was like, I can't give you any more money because I need to save for this house. And so around this time where me and my mom is having this situation, I want to say it's around November. And I want to say that, yeah, around this time, I have found my home, the home that I'm in right now. I found it, but I haven't closed on it just yet. And she knew that. She knew that. So this is November. So keep in mind, God told me I'm going to buy a house in April. So April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November. So that's about 7 months. 7 months that I've been staying with my mom, okay? God never told me that. He never told me I was going to stay with my mom before I got the house. So 7 months, I'm sleeping on my mom's couch in the living room, and I'm crying myself to sleep. And now my mom is telling me that she's like, her light bill is going up and all this other stuff, and so she wants more money. So I told my mom, and I thought about the consequences, but I was like, you know what? I'm just going to have to, go with it. So I told her, I said, I can't give you any more money. And so she tells me, she says, you have until Sunday. So I want to say it was like a Thursday when me and her had that talk, but she was like, you have until Thursday to move out. And I'm like, what? And keep in mind, guys, I know my mom. So this is not the first time my mom has done something like this. So I wasn't shocked, but I was shocked at the fact that she did this knowing that I was so close to getting my home. So I was like, so you really gonna have your child out here homeless before she gets her home? So I was like, wow, this is the mom that I have. So then, I could not understand. I was like, God, why would you leave me here? If you knew that she was going to, if you knew that she was going to kick me out, why would you even leave me here? So I was confused and I was distraught. And keep in mind, I was already crying myself to sleep. So now I'm even more like depressed. And I'm like, God, why? So around this time, I was a shift manager. And I can say it now, but I was a shift manager at Chick-fil-A. And thankfully, I had people who actually cared for me. But I was a shift manager. And, the next day after my mom told me I had until Sunday, to move out, I could not do my job. Like, I came to work, trying to smile, but people could tell that something was wrong with me. They just didn't know what it was. And so it had gotten to a point to where I was working in a particular spot, and they removed me because I wasn't fast enough. And, Chick-fil-A is all about, fast service. And so they had to remove me because I wasn't, making their service fast enough. And so I didn't care because I was going through it. And so I was like, God, please just let me get through my shift. Like, I'm so ready for 2 o'clock, because that's when I got off. And I was like, Lord, I'm ready for 2 o'clock. Please let 2 o'clock come fast, because I don't know what to do. So 2 o'clock comes and I don't even go straight home. What I do is I eat, and I'm like, praying in my head, like, God, what do you want me to do? So I'm eating at work because I got off and I saved my lunch. Because, we get free lunch as a shift manager. And so I'm eating at work after I got off, and I'm eating by myself. And one of my manager comes and they sit with me, and I'm like, oh my God, why are they coming over here? Like, I'm going through it. I'm in tears, but I'm trying to console myself. And so, she started asking me, am I doing okay? How was my day? And all this other stuff. And so I told her, I was like, it was okay. She knew something was wrong, but she wanted me to just freely say it. She wasn't going to dig it out of me, but she just wanted me to freely say it. And so I told her, I said, I'm okay. I said, I just had a bad day. And so I just felt on my spirit. I felt on my spirit to just tell her what was going on. I'm not the type of person to just tell my business. Like, if I tell you, it's because I feel like I need to tell you for a particular reason. And so I felt in my spirit that I needed to tell her what was going on. So I just told her, and I was like, hey, I said, can I tell you something? And she was like, yeah. And so I told her, and I was like, my mom just gave me, until Sunday. And I said, I'm worried about it. And I said, I just don't know what to do. I said, I'm not going to have a place to stay. And I told her, I said, she did this knowing that I'm in the process of buying a home. And so she was like, oh, congratulations. I was like, yeah, but until then, I'm going to be homeless. And so she was like, well, you can't, you can't call your dad, you can't do this. And so she started naming people, and I'm like, no, like, this person is out of the city, and I can't go here and I can't go there. And so she was like, so what are you gonna do? And I said, I don't know. I said, that's why I've been acting the way that I'm acting, because I don't know what I'm going to do. And I said, I just been trusting God. And so she was like, your mom is gonna work it out. And I was like, no, like, my mom gave me until Sunday. So then she says, well, if you don't have a place to stay by Sunday, she said, you can stay with me. And she was like, I have a roommate. There's not much room, but at least you'll have a place to stay. So I was like, okay. And I was like, thank you so much. And, that just brought joy to my spirit that she actually cared. And so even though she offered that to me, I still didn't want to go over to her place. So I was like, God, I don't want to be a burden for somebody else. Like, I already felt like I was a burden to my mom, but I don't want to be a burden to her either. Because I was like, this is also temporary. So anyways, that same day, I left work and I'm headed home. On my way home, I get this text, and I look at the text, and the text is from my mom. And she says, basically, because I don't remember everything that she said, but basically what she was saying was that she was sorry. And she said that, I could stay as long as I needed to. And I was like, thank you, God. I was like, God, you worked it out. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And even though I was still mad at the fact that my mom was willing to put her child out, I was still thankful, because I really didn't want to go to my coworker's house. I just didn't. But I said, thank you, God. So, okay, now we're back on track, right? And now I have a place to stay, and my mom is no longer asking me for more money. And I don't know what God placed on her heart, but she didn't ask for any more money. And so, anyways, in December, I eventually close on my house and I get my home. But the whole point of me sharing this story with you guys was to let you guys know that I went through it. I went through a delay. I did not know that God was going to tell me to move in with my mom. I did not know that she was going to try to kick me out. God did not tell me all these things. But guess what? The blessing still came. I still got the blessing. I still got the house. God's word was still true. God's word was still true, because it happened. I still got the house. Even though I got the house in December, because keep in mind, he told me back in April of last year that he wanted me to buy a house, but I didn't get the house until December of last year. I did not get the house until December. So that shows you that God can give you a word, but then you have to go into this waiting season until you actually get to the blessing, until you actually get to the vision. He's not going to tell you what's going to happen in between. All he wants you to do is move when he tells you to move. So basically, the in-between stage, the waiting stage, is basically like a distraction, because, the devil is using the in-between stage as a distraction so that you can think that what God said is not going to happen, but it's still going to happen. So that's why I'm titling this video, yes, the blessing is still coming, because your problems don't matter. Your problems don't matter. It didn't matter that I was staying with my mom. It didn't matter that I was sleeping on the couch, because God knew that I was going to have my own house. God knew I was going to have my own bedroom, 2 bedrooms at that. God knew I was going to have my own place to stay. So it didn't matter what I was going through in the in-between stage, because it wasn't going to stop me, and it wasn't going to stop God from giving me my blessing. And guess what? Just because you are losing things, or just because God is humbling you, it doesn't mean that God is going to come faster. Because guess what? Again, God told me I was going to get a house in April. I didn't get it until December. Do you know that was a long time? That was a long time. God didn't say, Paris, I see you crying. I see you crying yourself to sleep. Let me hurry up and comfort you. No, the appointed time was in December. Okay. God didn't come any faster just because I was crying. He didn't come any faster just because I was silently suffering. The appointed time was December. And so I want to encourage you that your blessing, your promise has an appointed time. It doesn't matter if you're losing everything. It doesn't matter if you lose your car, you lose your house, whatever you lose in the in-between time, it does not matter, because whatever God promised you is still going to happen. So I hope that this video has encouraged you guys. I hope that you now have more faith. I hope that you have peace, knowing that everything could be falling out of place for you, yet you still know that God is going to do what he said he's going to do. So anyways, I'll talk to you guys later, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye, y'all.